Hi, everyone. Teresa Aker here from Success Diaries with Teresa Aker. It's my privilege today to bring you Ron Korb. He's a two-time Grammy-nominated flutist and composer. How you doing?
Oh, I'm very well. Thanks for having me on the show.
Great, Ron. I'm glad you're here. So let's talk about it. Let's go back to the beginning. How did it all get started?
Well, gee, how did it all get started? I would say I was interested in playing flute, which of course is this flute, the silver flute.
Beautiful.
Back when I was a kid, I remember seeing Mo Kaufman on television, and I just was entranced by it. And later on, I went, like I mentioned, I'm from the Durham area as well.
Yeah.
When I went to school, I played the recorder, and later I graduated to playing the actual flute that I just showed you. And I have an Oshawa connection too, because when I was a teenager, I played in a fife and drum band in Oshawa.
Oh,
Yeah, I did. And so that was great playing with all those old guys, those old
yeah.
Irish guys. Most of them worked at the Motors.
Back then they would have, right?
Yeah, back then they would have. And then of course I went to York University. First I was actually studying I had an idea that I wanted to be a filmmaker, but music just took over my life, and York was a good place because it had a film department, had a music department, had a theater department. But after that 1 year at York, I decided I wanted to go to the University of Toronto and study classical music really seriously. And I had a good teacher who was teaching there, so he recommended I transfer. And so, yeah, I just practiced really hard and went through that program, 4 years of U of T. And then after that, I started to discover other kinds of flutes, like different Asian flutes, because I'm part Japanese. So I went to Japan and I studied Japanese bamboo flute there. And then it just one thing led to another. And here we are. I've done 30 albums, and this is my latest album, Global Canvas.
Can you pull it up, Ron, a little bit closer?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, very good. We want to see that. There you go. Oh, that looks great. Global canvas. I love the cover already.
Yeah. And I'm of course doing a big concert at the Japanese Canadian Culture Center, which is for their cherry blossom celebration.
Oh, of
Because
course.
cherry blossoms are coming out April 17th in
Yeah.
full bloom. Now we're crossing our fingers because we've had a cold winter, but the director of the center is confident that it's going to be a great concert. And it's a big hall. It's a 500 seat hall. So we're going to have some projections and my band playing, but also some dancers from the center. And they have a taiko group, they play those big Japanese drums. So it's
Yeah.
going to be exciting. It's going to be very exciting.
Oh, absolutely. I'm looking forward to hearing all about
Yeah.
this. Oh, amazing, Ron. I couldn't play an instrument. Oh my goodness, if my life depended on it, but I appreciate great talent and I know you have it. So let's talk about you are a two-time Grammy nominated flutist and composer. Let's talk about that. How did you come to become a nominated Grammy person? That's amazing. How did
Mm.
that happen?
It was actually my wife who had the idea of submitting an album I did called Asia Beauty for the Grammys. And this is the album here.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, thank you so much. Oh, beautiful.
And this album really featured like a whole sort of booklet with all these different pictures. There's the Great Wall in China, which I visited, and all these pictures were taken by either myself or my wife for years.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And there's a story in here called The House of the Five Beauties, which I wrote. It's a fictitious story, but it's about these five kick-ass women who can do all this kung fu, but they play the five different, each one plays a different Chinese instrument, like the flute,
Oh,
the guzheng. Yeah. This is you see the terraced rice fields here?
oh, I see it.
Yeah. Here's another kind of,
Oh, I love that one.
yeah.
And you took these pictures, you and your wife.
Yeah, or a photographer. I did a song inside a cave,
Oh, isn't
the
that
Greek
nice?
cave. Yeah. So anyway, this was the album that got nominated. And I think partly why it got nominated was because of the whole booklet. Like this is like really hard. It's like a hardcover book.
Sure.
It's not, yeah. That got a lot of traction that year and I got nominated and that was an amazing experience. That was back in 2016.
Wait, so
And
not that long ago, really.
not really, no, not that long ago. And
Well
then
done.
yeah, and my most recent nomination was actually this year, 2025, for
Congratulations.
yeah, a song called Kashira, which we did last year, and it was actually for a Japanese artist, Masa Takumi. It was actually his song, but I contributed to it, and I was on the masthead of the song, and that's what's the difference between really getting nominated and just purely participating in a Grammy record.
Isn't that now? Do you work with Philharmonics? Do you do that? Is that something that you would do as a flutist? I'm not sure.
Yes, it is. I actually have played with a number of symphony orchestras, and actually, I'm playing with the Toronto Symphony this month. Uh,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's I maybe I can send you some video clips actually. You can
Oh, that'd be great. That would be
embed them in.
wonderful.
Yeah.
The reason I asked you is a friend of mine does the Ontario, I think it's Ontario Philharmonic, and she's very active in it. And I wondered if
Oh,
perhaps you'd work with them. So I didn't know. That's why I was asking
hmm.
that. If
Yeah.
now, what are you doing today, Ron? I know you have an album out. What are you doing today? Do you have a lot of shows coming up? I know you mentioned two.
Mhm.
Is this, I know it's your career. Do you travel? What do you do?
Yes, I do travel. In fact, in the last 10 weeks, I've been to Dubai.
Oh,
Then
nice.
I came back to Canada, and then I went to the Grammys in Los Angeles. We did the red carpet with my wife. And
Oh, wonderful. We'll have to see pictures of that too.
yeah, I can send you pictures of that too.
Perfect.
And then she went directly to Taiwan, and I went back to Toronto just to sort things out because there's always, as you know, in life, there's so many things you have to deal with. And then I went to Taiwan, then I immediately went to India, to New Delhi, and I was participating in a new project, a video project, and also a recording called Sounds of the Kumbh. And it's about the Kumbh Mela in India. And this year, the Kumbh Mela, it's basically, you've seen pictures of people, they go to the Ganges River and they submerge themselves in the water, and you've seen pictures like that, right? The Kumbh is a very specific time, and where in t this year, they had it where the two other rivers converge with the Ganges River. And it's it's also a time when the planets, like I think it's Saturn, the
Oh,
moon, the Earth, and the sun line up together. So it only happens once every 144 years. So it was a very special cum. And so there were, get this, over 45 days, there were 500 million people that went to this place
wow.
to take a dip in the river.
Oh, that is amazing. You're so lucky to be able to travel the world and see the cultures and go to these concerts and be part of concerts, be part of the music world. I'm
Yeah.
just fascinated by that. That's wonderful. And
Yeah.
now you say your wife goes with you a lot. Is she a musician as well, or is she more like a companion, partner, manager kind of thing?
She's more of the second, I would say, but she was a dancer and she did study
Oh,
drum at Royal Holloway in England, London University in England. She's not a musician, but she's really she's essential.
yes, I get that.
I'd be totally lost without her, quite frankly.
And that's
Anyway,
the way it's supposed to be, Ron.
that's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way
That's
it is.
right.
Yeah, that's the way
Exactly.
it is.
It-
Yeah.
It's
She loves Canada. She's a Canadian citizen now, but she's been here for 14 years. But
Oh, that's nice.
she loves
Canada's a beautiful country, though, and that's because I'm personal about it, just like you are.
and more specifically, she loves Durham.
Oh, is that right? Oh,
Yeah,
good. Oh,
she
thank
loves
her.
it.
I love Durham as well. I love living here. I love the atmosphere. And it is what it is. We have a lot of places that support young artists and artists like yourself who they bring beautiful shows to our area. And
Hmm.
it's worth it. It's worth it to go. We mentioned the Regent Theater before. They certainly have concerts there. We have the different centers that have our musicians. And I mentioned the Ontario Philharmonic. We have all kinds of places in Ontario and in Canada that young, striving artists have huge opportunities now to be in. In fact, I've had some young artists on my show, and it's wonderful to be able to help them move on. Well done. Now, if as we circle back to that, I wanted to mention also, I knew you did some flute, is it flute work,
Yeah.
flutist work
Yeah.
for Copeland, is that right? Stewart Copeland, thank you. I wanted to say it right. Thank you, Stewart Copeland.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
After I got nominated for the Grammy, By the way, Grammy is the only award that you can get nominated and people congratulate you like you won. You know,
Oh,
I guess it's like the Oscars. I guess if you get
yeah.
nominated for an Oscar,
But
and
but being nominated, Ron, is such a wonderful.
oh, it's huge.
Oh,
It really is. Yeah.
yeah.
And so that put me on a lot of people's radar. And the producer, one of the producers from that album, Ricky Kej, who's a friend of mine now, of course. In fact, I've even performed with him live in his group and played on his albums. He invited me to play on Stewart's album, the one that he did with Ricky called Divine Tides.
Oh, nice.
And that album actually did win a Grammy. I've played on I think four Grammy winning albums. So some people do refer to me as a Grammy winner because it is a kind of winning.
It is a winning, isn't it, for
Yeah,
you?
it is a winning. Yeah. But
And you
for me,
are part of it, so you have won it, right?
yeah. But for me, really winning is to actually have like a Grammy statue.
I get that.
Yeah. But you still get a very nice certificate. So the way we say it now is I have 7 Grammy certificates, 4 of them for winning albums.
And
Yeah.
those accolades are huge. That's
Yeah.
not small. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. And you're still able to do your music, and it's something you love, right? You obviously love and have passion for it.
So with Stewart, yeah, playing on that album was a direct cause of being Grammy nominated. And then I guess 2 years later, they did another album called Police Beyond Borders. And that was actually the police songs
Okay.
that they arranged into kind of a world music arrangements with some African singers. And actually, each song had a different singer from a different country, all in the native languages. It's a really great album, actually. And I played on Don't Stand So Close to Me.
Oh, I
Um,
know that song, of course.
yeah. Da, 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 da. Yeah, yeah. And of course, I got to meet Stewart at the Grammys. Like again, I can maybe I'll send you a bunch of pictures after this is over.
Absolutely. I want to be able to put that right on the promotions we're doing for
Yeah,
you, Ron.
yeah,
You should be
yeah.
very proud of yourself. I'm sure you are. And I'm listening to, I knew you had a lot of talent. I knew that. But as I listen to you, and you're so humble, and it's nice that, you know what, sometimes, Ron, it's nice to be able to say, this is what I did. You get to say it somewhere. It's not like you're on the street, you talk to someone and say, hi, I'm a Grammy nominated winner. You don't get to do that. So these forums allow you to expand on that. You really are talented, and you do have something out there that people love to listen to. So I'm thrilled that I could bring you here today. Now,
Hmm.
I have a question for you. Let's say if you could give some tips to any artist up and coming, what kind of tips could you give them, Ron?
I would say try to find, of course, study music, but try to find the style of music that really resonates with you. A lot of times, as musicians growing up, we get shuffled into a certain genre, and we might not even, and that might not even be really what we're all about. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but
Yeah,
like the process of learning music and becoming an artist and putting out albums and whatnot, it's a process. And sometimes you have to do the wrong thing before you can do the right thing. And they say about writing music, you have to write all the bad stuff out of you. So I would say just continue to write songs, continue to produce music, but in the end, try to find something that's unique about yourself and even something that you might even think is a negative. Like some people might think, whatever, you're born, I was going to say you're born poor, but actually a lot of people can use that as a positive, right? Writing about the struggles and stuff.
sure.
You could say the opposite, being born rich. There's a lot of people who are born rich and they're pretending to be poor or middle class. But I think it's what I'm saying, I'm not really saying it very well, but what I mean is that find that unique thing about yourself and that thing that you really love about music. If you really love the blues, then just go for that. If you really love jazz, just go for that. And really just try to find out what you can bring to the table that's unique and amplify that part. And then I would say nowadays you don't really need to be involved with a record label. A lot of people chase that as a dream. I don't think the record companies can really do much for you unless you're really a pop star. And a pop star who needs that massive promotion, maybe then it could work. But if you're in any other genre, like classical jazz or something, I don't really think the record companies can do much for you. And plus they take so much, right? They'll take 50% of everything you make.
Is that what
So
they take? Wow.
yeah, sure. I mean that like all your streaming, they'll be taking 50%. And then if you have a publisher on top of that, they'll also be taking 50%, 50% of 50%. So I think it's better to try to keep your publishing and everything together and just to continue to put stuff out because the great thing about nowadays is the distribution is no problem. It used
Oh,
to
I
be
agree.
there used to be the distribution was the big problem. Even if you have an album, how are you going to get, even if it's a beautiful album, how are you going to get it into the record stores? So you needed at least a distributor, and probably actually you did need a record company, right? Like a record label that makes the album, sells to the distributor, blah, 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 blah. But now any artist, even a 15-year-old, can make a song and they can put it up on Spotify and Apple Music and stuff immediately. And that's a huge advantage. And
It,
so you
it
don't
is.
really need, you don't really need those intermediaries anymore.
Ron, I'm thinking you hit it right on the nail. The young people who are, the talent that's out there is amazing. I would think that during the time that you came along and I was growing, I would think for the artists, there was a lot of amazingly talented artists that got put aside because there wasn't enough space for them, or
Mm.
someone maybe perhaps they took their album somewhere and they just didn't have an ear for that particular type of music. So the artists, I think a lot of them perhaps got left behind. Today, you're right. With technology, look at how far they can go. They can go on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, all of these social media sites, put on their music, and boy, people are getting picked up just because of that. They don't need any managers once they're successful, but on their way. So, Ron, you grew in a time where you had to do it a lot harder and with more competition than I think they do today. Perhaps they have more competition, but it's easier.
Yeah, like I said, the distribution part is no problem, and that
Yeah,
used to be the biggest problem. Now, of course, you can distribute your album, you can get on Spotify, but why is anyone going to actually listen to your song? Why is anyone going to stream it? How are people going to know about it? And of course, they're going to know about it through your own social media. And if you can build that up and get fans to listen to your album, and then they tell their friends and
yeah.
stuff, then it can really be something. But it's like I said, at least you don't have to worry about the distribution part. And like I said, that used to be the hardest part of the whole equation was simply getting distributed. Then again, to answer the other question, the younger people probably would know better than me how to promote
Oh,
themselves on Instagram and everything.
that's a
But
good point. Yeah. So today, where do you see yourself going in the next 5 years? Where do you see your music going? What are you going to be doing, Ron?
I think I'd like to do a lot more videos because
Okay.
I feel videos are like a lasting legacy. I'm probably going to do more world touring. That's certainly in the cards. I'm going to do just more of what I'm doing. I'm going to play on other people's albums, play on more films and TV things. I enjoy doing that. But I think now I'm just going to focus more on streaming, just like what I was telling you, and trying to do things to like just see what works and what doesn't and try to expand my audience in the streaming world. Yeah.
What you mentioned movie and TV. Have you done backup music for them? For
Oh yeah, a
what have
lot.
you done? Can you tell us any of the movies that you've done?
Sure. I've done Road to Avonlea. I've done Emily of New Moon. Do you remember that TV
I
series?
do.
I did Earth Final Conflict. I've done recent movies too. In fact, I played on a movie called The 800, which you probably haven't heard of,
No.
but believe it or not, it was the top grossing film of, I can't remember what year it is. I think it was 2022 or something like that. It was the top grossing film. It was bigger than Inception.
I'm gonna have to look at it.
Yeah, and because it was a Chinese film, that's probably why you don't know it. But all
Okay.
the music part was done in Hollywood. So I was
Oh,
working with a Hollywood film composer on that, and I played the Japanese flute, the Chinese flute, and the Western sort of orchestral flutes in that. And that one I'm particularly proud of because they could have gotten anybody. There's so many talented musicians in China, particularly.
for sure.
But to be chosen for that was a real honor. And the end credit was sung by Andrea Bocelli. And
Oh,
so
wow.
I got to work with him in a sense. I played flute on the end credit. But no, I've been in a lot of things. Being Julia with Jeremy Irons
Yes.
and Annette Bening. I played on a film called The White Countess, which was Natasha Richardson's last film
Oh,
with Vanessa Redgrave and Lynn Redgrave and Ralph Fiennes. I was in a few of those IMAX movies like Beautiful Planet and with Tom Cruise narrating, and another one with Jennifer Lawrence narrating. So I think you look on my IMDb, I think I've done like over 100. I think there's at least over 100 credits there.
beautiful. And
Yeah.
I want to put a lot of that up here. So when we do
Okay.
it for your promotions, I'll make sure
Yeah.
we do that, because the reason I asked is because although you're being very humble, before I asked you that, you hadn't even mentioned those yet, because I think you have a lot of accolades and you don't necessarily get to bring them forward. So I want to make sure when we promote you and we do this video that we get to tell everyone, because then they can check it out. And I wanted
Mhm.
to ask you with I know you have a CD out right now,
Yeah.
so they can get that on they can get on Spotify, on Amazon, I'm thinking, all of
Apple
the,
Music. Yeah.
yeah, so they can purchase it anywhere there, right? Now, do you have your own YouTube channel or anything like that?
Yes. Yes, I do. It's called Flute Traveler.
Okay,
And so that's my own and I have my own website too, ronkorb.com. And
perfect.
if anyone wants to buy the physical, like the physical CDs that I sell, they can buy them from there. They can buy them from Amazon too, but it's easier to buy them from us directly,
I would think.
especially if they want an autograph.
Oh, you have an autograph on it too. Okay.
Yeah, there's a little place if you can request if you want an autograph.
Oh, I have to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody's going to want your autograph, Ron.
Well, thank you so much. A lot of
Absolutely. Now, I have another question for you.
yeah,
Will you come back and see us again?
of course.
I would love to have you back. We only scratched the surface of everything, and I would love to have you back because you're still doing other concerts and still doing things, and your future is still so wonderfully bright forever. So I'm
Mm.
thinking it would be great to have you back.
Yeah, it'd be lovely to be back. Yeah,
Absolutely. I really appreciated your time today, Ron. Thank you so much.
you're very welcome. It was an honor to be on the show.
Oh, thank you. My privilege. So, to everyone, this is Ron Korb. He's two-time Grammy nominated flutist and composer. Do look at all his sites that we talked about. I'll make sure all his information is here for you to take a look at. I'm so thrilled to have you on. Thank you again, Ron. And to everyone else, this is Teresa Aker from Success Diaries with Teresa Aker. Please subscribe to my channel and Ron's. He's on YouTube as well. And you have a great day, and I look forward to talking to you all very soon. Bye-bye now.